I'm here at Shoptalk in Las Vegas 2023. It's been really fantastic so far. I mean, the energy here has been off the chart. I think it's been really exciting to see everybody around, to see all the discussions that have been happening, both on main stage, but in breakouts and also in the meetups, and of course, walking around here at the expo floor.
The Retail Technology Show has been really good, actually. I think there were a lot of people who were concerned about how it was going to be based off of last year. Everybody was excited to be back together, but it was a little bit smaller. And this year it is definitely back in full swing, and everybody's very excited to be here. And the sessions are all very well attended and really great topics.
Yeah, it's great to be in Shoptalk Europe. I wasn't able to make it last year, so I was really excited about the international conversation that we were going to have today. And it's been good. It's a nice balance to the US, and there's different kind of experimentation happening, and I think there's a spectrum of where we're at from a global perspective in some of those testing and possibilities around retail technology and its role in retail and for the consumer.
I'm really passionate about consumer trends, and some of the trends I'm seeing is really how can you get closer to your customer. Everyone is overwhelmed with how much information there is out there, whether that's digitally or it's physical experiences and integrating and back into life after the pandemic. So actually it's a real opportunity to see solutions that can get closer to providing a great customer experience and building retention and loyalty.
The main trends that we're seeing currently is a real focus on that kind of customer centricity. I think everyone's really trying to solve, the repeat purchase, loyalty keeps coming up again and again. So I think really it's like focusing on how can you join the dots across all of these multiple channels, really drive customer engagement, drive customer loyalty, and how do you, keep building that kind of community around your brand.
One of the things that I saw from a trend perspective is the focus on automation. And this is something I've been seeing not just here, but in a couple of shows recently where frictionless checkout is no longer just one or two offerings, there's many of them.
I saw a lot about customer experience, not only in a sense of people dancing at the table, but a lot around invisibility, so making shopping more frictionless, enabled by technology, so frictionless checkout services, transparency in supply chain, end-to-end visibility on supply chain. I think there the industry has made a step forward.
So the biggest trend I'm seeing is something I call back to the future. And that is where old technologies are becoming much more robust, and the technology to support that is building up to make it actually work in a way that is very successful today. Take QR codes, for example. QR codes have been around for over 10 years. Artificial intelligence, that's another big trend that's hitting today, and everyone's very excited about it. But artificial intelligence was actually invented in 1946. And the term artificial intelligence was created in the 50s, so it's been around with us for a long time. But today we have the technologies that built up around it to give it the data and the information and the guidance it needs to really go mainstream and work in the mainstream retail culture.
I think everyone's, sort of like excited really around how I think commerce is becoming far more unified, like being able to transact in the moment. I think bringing that into, everyone is saying about AI, but I think there's still this need for some basics around having the ability to serve a customer. We're still trying to tackle things like single view of customer, single view of stock, bringing that all together in that whole piece that, it doesn't really matter where the consumer is, but they want to transact, they want to be able to engage.
For me, what I've really enjoyed seeing is, first of all, sort of the discussion, if you will, of the importance of supply chain in today's retail world. Both from the ability to meet the customer needs, so customer satisfaction in terms of getting their product, but more importantly around the importance of supply chain for things like sustainability.
There's a lot of talk about sustainability here at Euroshop. Certainly that's one of the biggest things that I've noticed, that everyone's talking about it, talking about huge demand from retailers for much more about sustainability, about what happens to equipment, what happens to technology, how they're going to deal with it all. And I think that's really interesting, and it's really become up front and centre, I think, for a lot of retailers and for obviously all the companies that supply into them.
Yeah, Some of the retail trends that we're seeing that are also reflected at this show are a lot of interest in RFID, inventory management and the granularity of inventory, as well as being able to promise all of the inventory that you have, especially in an omni-channel environment, has been an increasing priority. So with all of the omni-channel that happened during the pandemic, that has continued even as consumers have returned to the store, and you have to know where all of your inventory is so that you can promise it.
There's been so many trends to think about, and actually overwhelm is one of the big challenges that many retailers face right now. I think what's really excited me here about the show is quite a few different innovations, and I suppose the common theme is about simplifying and streamlining the customer journey and the customer experience. Not from a hands-off point of view, but eliminating all of the friction points through that customer journey.
People have less money. We're having a lot of redundancies. The cost of everything is going through the roof. So I think retailers need to work really hard to encourage shoppers to come out and have a look and then reward them when they do. So the way the store and the other channels work is becoming more and more critical. The need to be effective and in converting people into buying is probably more important now than it has been in the last 3 years.
I mean, it's really important to be at these trade shows and to understand what trends there are. And of course also talk to tech suppliers and sometimes trying to bridge that experience from what retailers need to what the tech suppliers are offering. So be here, listen, get inspired, and then try to figure out what new retail actually is.